Hello guys and gals, and welcome back to Hi guys and gals, and welcome back to Gold Rush, Buddy1927 Mining Company. Of course, I'm the crazy redhead Buddy1927, and I'm not feeling good. I missed the stream Friday because, not Friday, I missed the stream Saturday, Monday. Yeah, today's Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. I missed the stream on Monday because I was sick. And I didn't get much done in the way of drilling. I was trying to get all the drilling done before today from last week, but Thursday I had a doctor's office. I had a doctor visit, and Friday, my mother took me to the doctor's visit, and she has a bad cold. And Friday I recorded a couple of videos that was supposed to come out. One came out yesterday, and the next one I haven't uploaded yet. That's supposed to come out tomorrow. I haven't edited it or uploaded it yet. But I recorded and edited. I recorded 2 videos Friday. I edited one Saturday, and I started feeling bad. Sunday I didn't even touch the computer. I was so sick, and when I woke up Monday, I was hoping I would be wide awake and going there, feeling good. Oh, by the way, random demon boy, how you doing today? I'm here now. Then also I got a terrible migraine around 10 o'clock Monday morning, so I went ahead and canceled the stream. Yesterday I did a lot of drilling, but I didn't get all the drilling done, and every 1,000 ounces of gold I was getting, I was going to the blacksmith and smelting it. I have bought the land. I have bought the parcel, so I own the parcel. I bought all the sluice boxes and put them in place, and every component that you need with the sluice box, the nugget traps, the ripples, and the mats. The only sluice boxes that are not installed yet, but I do have them, is the hog pans. I bought all the components for the wash plant, and right now I got $1.6 million in my account. I need another $1 million, about $1.3 million to get buy the wash plant completely. And I was hoping to get all this drilling. I woke up this morning. I've been drilling since this morning, and I was hoping to get all this drilling done, but I haven't done. So what I'm going to do is just continue the drilling part right now until I reach about 2,000 ounces of gold. Then I'll just do one. I'm drilling 9 holes per square right now, and once I reach my 2,000 ounces, I'll just go ahead and if I haven't finished the rest of these squares, I'll just do one drill in the middle of each one, so we know where all the gold is. And then we can go to the blacksmith and start smelting all the gold. I have bought all the components for the gold room, and the gold room is set up and ready to go. So we don't have to worry about that. I bought the pump. I also got the water tower up and running, and it's being filled right now because I bought the big water pump, and it's filling the water tower up right now. I bought the mobile water tank and pump for the gold room, and the tank has been filled on that one, and it's connected to the water tower, and all the nuggetator, the wave table, and the magnetite separator is all connected to the pump, all set up and connected to the pump. So I'm hoping today, by the end of this stream, I'm hoping to go ahead and get the wash plant set up. Right now, my voice might sound terrible because I am fighting a cold, bad cold. If I cough, sneeze, you know why. And I apologize for any coughs and sneezes that you might hear. And as you can tell, my voice is a little off kilter today. So I'm just going to do what we can. Well, with smelting gold, anybody want to chat with me, you're more than welcome to. Of course, during these live streams, you can chat with me anytime. Don't forget to subscribe. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and if you can help support this channel by hitting the like button. Every like I get gets this channel seen a little bit more, which helps grow this channel. Currently, we're up to 465 subscribers. Not 400, 765 subscribers. So the channel's growing, and what I like to do is turn this into a good simulation gaming channel. Now, Friday, I have a new game. It's in alpha access, and I'm not going to tell you the name of the game yet. You're going to have to find out Friday. See what the name of the game is, and I think you all will like it. You just got to remember this is very early access. This is alpha. There's 4 stages to developing a game. First is the development of the game, writing the codes and all that. Then there's the next section is called alpha testing, which is what I'll be doing with that game, and I got permission to live stream it and make videos of it on YouTube. So that's good. As a matter of fact, the developer, the company's based in Germany, and the developer is doing live streams on Twitch almost daily. But we are going to go through the alpha testing on that game, and I will tell you anytime they got a new update or something like that going on, I'll let you know what the update is and all that. I'll be checking it just before I go live to make sure we got the current update and everything's good with the game. Now, there's going to be a ton of bugs with this game, and I'm just letting you know now. It's alpha access. Alpha access means you're looking for the bugs and you're reporting the bugs to the developer, the game developer. And that's what alpha access means. You're helping the developer get the bugs fixed. And then the next phase of a game is called beta testing, which on Steam is called early access now. But beta testing is the polishing of the game. They polish up, they try to add new stuff and try to get any more bugs that might occur during that. But during the alpha test, they're trying to get all the major bugs taken care of. And then beta tests is when all the major bugs have been taken care of. They look for the smaller bugs and stuff like that, and they add more textures and add a little, basically polish the game up is what they're doing. And then the next phase of the game is called release, is where the game is produced and released to the public. So that's the stages of a game. Now, back in the 90s and early 2000s, you actually got paid by the game developers. I worked full-time as a firefighter paramedic, but on my out, because I worked 3 24-hour shifts and I'd be off 4 days and 24-hour shift in between. So So I worked also full-time for ID, the developers of Doom, back in the 90s. And I did pretty good. You get paid so much. The way ID found me was when Doom first came out, I bought it, and 3 of my other friends bought it. And back then, it was multiplayer. It was a single-player game, but you could do multiplayer. But you had to be a member of a BBS, which is a bulletin board server. That's what BBS stands for. And they would have servers, and then they would have to buy the game, a server game for Doom, which costs about $250 to, depending on the game, it costs anywhere from $250 to $500 per server. This bulletin board had 20 servers, and they had 10 of them dedicated to Doom. And you can have up to 4 players on each server. Now, you could rent the servers for $20 an hour, or you can do what they call the public server, which anybody could join you if there was an opening. Well, I had 3 friends that played the game, so we rented the server from 7 at night to 10 p.m. 3 hours. We all chipped in because it only cost $20 an hour, but with 4 people paying, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad, and we rented the server once a week, and we played Doom. Now on the bullet, we didn't have Discord or Trello or any private. We didn't have voice servers. So the way we connected to the bulletin board was via the telephone. And we all had modems in our computer back. That's when they finally got upgraded, and you could put the modem right into your computer case. So you would dial up the BBS, hook up to the BBS, and each of us would have 2 phone lines in our houses, where we lived. I had an apartment, but we had 2 phone lines, and we all had conference calls section, so which we had to pay extra. Of course, you had to pay extra for the second phone line plus conference call. AT&T had a lock on everything back then. But 4 of us would get together on the phone, and I got a mic and ear plug that I could plug my phone into, so I can hear the phone and I can talk and all that on the phone. And we would chat. We'll meet on the bulletin board about 6 o'clock and BS a while, and then we would go ahead, and I was living in Norfolk at the time, Norfolk, Virginia, when I was doing this. And we would play Doom. And back then, I made WADs for Doom. Which is basically maps of the game. And I made a total of 250. I would upload it to the server. So anybody on the BBS, on the bulletin board, because I think it was Virginia Beach Bulletin Board, was the one that we were using. And I would upload it to the server, and anybody could use my my map for the game. And they were different, and I actually developed one map, and I still haven't figured out how I did it. But I found I did a map where you can do a 4-person version of the game itself, and it had the monsters and everything, that all the demons and all that Doom had. in there, and somehow all the wads that I did, all those wads are automatically uploaded to ID, and they would check them, see cheats and stuff like that. If you're using cheat codes and stuff like that, which I didn't, I just followed the regulations, and they spotted me. They spotted the game that I did for the fourth person, and they got a hold of me, and found out I had 250 watts at the time, and they asked me if they actually bought the rights to all those wads from me. And I think they paid like $2,500 for it back then. This is back in the early 90s. And then they were developing Doom 2 and developing other games for, I think they were also doing Quake at the time. But they were developing Doom 2, and they asked me if I was willing to become a beta tester. I'm like, what's a beta tester? And they told me what it is, and we'll pay you $5 an hour. Every time you hook up to our server, you get paid, and you work with a developer. You don't work with a developer, you work with a programmer to help the bugs and stuff like that. You talk to them and all that. So that's where I started my career as a beta tester. And then I moved to Florida, and I was still a beta tester, still did it. I got married, did a stupid thing, got married, moved to Florida, was working for Palm Beach County Fire and Rescue. And I was working the same shift, 24 on, 24 off, 24 on, 24 off, and 4 days off. So on my days off, I was working for ID. And then I moved to North Carolina, and a new company, a new startup company, I started, and it was called Blizzard Entertainment, and they were doing Warcraft, and somehow they talked to ID and got me and they hired me as a alpha tester and a beta tester. Alpha tester, I got paid $7 an hour. I got paid $5 an hour for beta testing. And I also got the game for free once it was released to the public and all that, because you didn't have early access then. The game was beta tested, and you went through all the procedures before it was released to the public. And beta testers and alpha testing was closed, and you got paid an hourly raise. I mean, minimum hourly. The hourly rate was like $3.75 an hour for employees, so we were getting $5 an hour for that, and $7 an hour for that. And I did Warcraft, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3. Then they was developing this new game called World of Warcraft. And they selected me as one of the alpha tester. I was getting paid. It was the first MMOP, whatever it's called now, multiplayer game. And I was one of the beta testers, and they bumped me up. I was one of the alpha testers. They bumped me up to $10 an hour when they started this game, and I worked exclusively with one programmer. So I got paid $10 an hour every time I was on their server testing the game. And because it was a multiplayer, I would also work with one of the beta testers. And that's back when the internet started having their own, you can just connect to the internet through a provider, where they were allowing games now to be played over the internet, and it was beefed up a little bit more. And you had to have requirements. You had to have a computer that met they wanted to exceed the requirements for the game. Your computer had to meet the specs. So I had to buy a new computer. This meet their specs to be an alpha tester. And that cost me a good chunk of change because computers back then were expensive. They're not as cheap, and I built my own computer, and it cost me $2,500 to build. And if I bought it outright, if I had somebody custom make that computer, it would have cost me $12,000. So I learned how to build my own computers back then. And I'm at the specs, and I was getting paid $10 an hour to play this game, and was playing with a specific programmer. And once a week, we would meet on Skype, which was a new thing, and we would do video chats and stuff like that, and go over some things. And once a month, we would meet with the developers of the game, the programmer, myself, and one of the developers of the game would meet with me on Skype. All three of us would talk about the game, suggestions that we might have to improve the game and stuff like that. And they took that in consideration. So, we're up to 1,041. We still need 960 ounces to go. But we developed the game. And then when it went to beta, I was still I was also the beta tester. And I got the game for free. And I did alpha and beta testing all the way up to Lynch King on that game, and I loved it. I played it, and I played it for free. I didn't have to pay that $14.99 a month to play it until I stopped. I then just stopped being a beta tester. Work and family and other personal issues got in the way, and I had to quit as a alpha beta tester and do all that. Then I ended up moving to North Carolina, and then I just started playing World of Tanks and met up during the I still play World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft. And I belonged to this clan. Then World of Tanks came out, and I started making YouTube. Started with Egg, which was a video like YouTube. You can create videos and upload them. And I was also uploading for the fire department and stuff like that. Then YouTube came out, and I think they bought Egg. Yeah, YouTube bought Egg, and then I became a YouTube creator. And back then, all you had to have was 200 subscribers, and I had like 230. I was making the videos just a hobby. I was just making the videos, how-to and replays of the battles and stuff like that of how to play World of Tanks. And you can still this show on my channel. I think I started that in 2013. And I wasn't really considering making videos. I was just doing it as a hobby. I belonged to Freedom, which was an MSC or something like that. They took 30% of what I made on YouTube, and I got 70% back. And I wasn't making much on YouTube, but they paid me for everything that I had. And I was like, okay, that works. Then I got injured in the line of duty, became disabled. It took me 7 years to get my disability, and lost my internet. I couldn't afford my internet no more, so I couldn't play anymore. Couldn't do anything. Then I moved, and I got to the point where I had to move in with my mother, and I was deeply depressed, so I didn't touch YouTube for a while. Then I started fooling around I finally got my disability. I was in a deep depression. I was suffering from post-traumatic stress. and everything, and I started seeing psychiatrists. I still see him. And I had a counselor, a therapist I was seeing twice a week. We were trying to figure out what to do to help me get back into life. Basically, I did try to commit suicide. My diabetes went out of control. And I was put on insulin because I was going through a clinic at the time. Didn't have insurance. Didn't have disability. The only thing I had was food stamps, and the state was paying for my for me to see psychiatrists and all that. Oh yeah, and an alpha tester. And back then you got paid. But now you don't. The game developers got smart and said, "Hey, let's sell this, and we'll sell the beta version as an early access, and they pay to be the beta testers, and we'll give them the game free, but they have to pay $19.99. We'll sell the game for $20. When it gets released, we'll sell it for $20.99, but they get the game for free. That's the bonus of early testing now." But then I started making YouTube videos. Started back making YouTube videos of games. Really wasn't into it, but then all things clicked, and about a year and a half ago, I decided I want to grow this channel. And I was at 230 subscribers, maybe 5 or 10 views per video. It's going. I'm still drilling. I have $1.6 million in the bank. I bought all the sleuth boxes. I bought all the materials for the sleuth box. I bought all the components to it. And I bought the I own the parcel now, and I also upgraded the water tower, and I'm bought the big pump to fill up the water tower right now. Got all the components for the gold room and its own water pump. I have bought the big fuel tank and the power generator. So the only thing I got to do now is get another 903 ounces, and then go to the blacksmith, smelt all that gold. Then we will have a tier 5 setup, which I'm hoping to have it completely set up before we end this stream today. It's going to take a while to smelt all this, and it's going to take me a while to finish this up until I get to 2,000. Once I get to 2,000, then I'll finish drilling the map, and we'll go to the blacksmith. And once we reach 2,000, I'll just do one drill per square. Right now I'm still doing nine drills per square, and you can see we're up to 1,097 ounces of gold, so we're doing good there. Still need 1,003 ounces to go. We'll have more than enough by then to go ahead and buy the things that we need. But I got all the components that you need to set up all the mats, all the hog pans, all the sleuth boxes, hopefully all the pumps, all the electrical components and all that. So all we have to do is buy the shaker, the glacier shaker, the reinforced trumbull, the 2 gravel pits and all that. We've got a lot of things to do. So how's Fire Academy going there, Patrick? Have you been to any fires this week? Since last time we talked? It's nice. We're doing good. Still feeling lousy. Friday is going to be the special game, which will be at 12 o'clock noon. Next week, live stream schedule is going to be different. I'm going to be live streaming on Tuesday and Thursday next week because I got 2 doctor's appointments, one on Monday, one on Wednesday. I kind of screwed up. Usually I try to schedule my doctor's appointments on Tuesdays and Thursdays so it doesn't mess up my live stream, but I kind of messed up. Oh, good. I might not be able to get videos out next week because I've been kind of sick. I still got a video I need to edit to upload for tomorrow, but I don't know if I'm going to have time to do it tomorrow. I got to go get blood drawn in the morning. Then I go to the doctor next Wednesday once he has the results. So my live stream will be Tuesday and Thursday and Friday. Depending on how I'm feeling is what section we are. Hey, Kristen. How you doing? Oh, Christina, how you doing? I'm doing good. I have cold, you can tell. And I do apologize again if I start coughing, sneezing, and all that. If you hear that, I do apologize. I'm just having a bad day. I couldn't live stream Monday because I got a migraine from the cold I got, caught from my mother. And I just haven't been myself, but I'm feeling better today, so I figure I'd try a live stream today and see how far we can get today. I didn't play much offline to get this all done. We still need 870 ounces to meet our goal. Hey, I'm just doing what I can. And I do try, I'm a man of my word. I try to keep my schedules as good as possible. And if I have to cancel a live stream because I'm sick, I feel terrible when I do that. Because right now I'm trying to grow this channel, and I got people like Patrick and Christina watching me out. And we're growing the channel, which I love. I love growing this channel. And I love doing a lot of things for you all. I mean, you're my subscribers. You're helping me grow this channel. And it's my job to entertain you. It's my job to do these live streams. It's my job to do these videos for you. Even though I don't get paid. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Christine, I know exactly what you're talking about because I have 5 screwed up discs in my back. One in my cervical, one in my thoracic, and 3 in my lower lumbar area. It hurts. I feel your pain. Oh, I know. But I'm also a workaholic, Patrick. That's one of the reasons why I started this, because I wasn't working, wasn't keeping busy. And I kept on getting depressed. This helps me go. This channel and you all help me keep going every day. I mean, I literally work 7 days a week now, but I'm at home. And my bedroom is set up where I have a kitchen. I have a refrigerator and a microwave. That's my kitchen. I have a living room which has a recliner and my TV. I got a YouTube studio that I'm broadcasting from, sectioned off in my house, in my bedroom. Then I have a bedroom. I do. Oh yeah, I understand what you're saying, Christina. And it is. But things happen. You just do the best you can. I try to keep busy. That keeps my depression away. Of course, my medication and my psychiatrist and all that help. But I got separate areas in my room. So I have different scenes in my room. So my bed is one section of my bedroom. My refrigerator and microwave is one section. And that way I don't feel like I'm at work when I'm watching TV. I don't feel like I'm at work when I'm eating. I don't feel like I'm at work when I'm sleeping. But when I hop into my YouTube studio, I'm working and I feel good about it. And I love my job now. My grandfather, I love doing these videos. I love doing these live streams. My grandfather taught me, you find a job that you love, you never work a day in your life. And I found that job as a firefighter, paramedic, and rescue worker. I loved every minute of it. Didn't get paid much. I mean, but I loved it, and I really did not work a day in my life. It wasn't work. I even volunteered as a firefighter paramedic in addition to my regular job. So I was doing my paid job and volunteering. And I also would volunteer in the emergency room at the hospital. So when I was a paramedic and firefighter, I did a lot of work. I even worked for Homeland Security, National Forestry, U.S. Forestry Department, both as a firefighter, paramedic, and rescue worker for both Homeland Security and U.S. Forestry. And I would go away on fires and stuff like that. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my career very much. Unfortunately, my career ended after 35 years. Ended early. I still had at least 5 to 10 years left in the job. But hey, life goes on. And now I found a new job that I love. And I love this job. I love all my subscribers. People that talk to me on chat, leave comments, that also hit the like button to help support this channel. Little advertisement there. But I enjoy this, and right now I feel terrible, but I feel good, if that makes sense. I mean, the cold is bugging the hell out of me. I feel run down. I'm a little weak, but once I started live streaming, I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm communicating with people, and I'm having fun, so I'm not working. So, I'm enjoying this. I don't get paid for it, at least not yet. I still gotta get some more subscribers. But right now I'm not getting paid, but I enjoy doing it. It's keeping me busy. It's keeping me working. It's giving me a purpose in life now. When I was unable to be a firefighter, paramedic, and rescue worker, I lost my will. I lost my will to do what I needed to do in life. But now I found a way to do. I couldn't even find a job with my disability, with my back. And then I ended up having my leg amputated. I went through a year with a broken leg and infections and finally amputation of the leg. And the only thing that actually got me through, that's helped me get through all that, is this channel and you guys. So you all have helped me continue on living. And I appreciate every one of you all. I appreciate every one of my subscribers and everybody. So, and I really do. It gives me a purpose in life. I don't make any money at this, at least not yet. I'm hoping to, and a year from now, I hope to be making a living doing this, to where I can get out of my mother's house and back into my own house. Oh, see, I started YouTube this as a hobby. Just making videos for the clan I belong to in World of Tanks. I did make a couple of World of Warcraft videos, but YouTube was not a live streaming platform, so I couldn't really live stream. Or they had a live stream platform, but it was terrible. I mean, I could only do 720 PI, and half the time I would lose my connection. And now YouTube is becoming a good gaming streaming platform. Actually better. I have a better chance of making money, making a career out of it, than being on Twitch, because only 0.04% of the streamers on Twitch, yeah, only 0.04%, 0.4%, I'm sorry, 0.4% of all the streamers on Twitch make a living, to where they can actually make a living off of streaming. Here, 70% of live streamers can make a living on live streaming and gaming. So it's actually a better platform than Twitch. And that's why I've been concentrating on YouTube. I have a Twitch channel. I've done some Twitch. I have like 22 or 33 followers, whatever they're called. But I really haven't been concentrating on Twitch. I have better followers, but I get better results, better views, and all that here on YouTube. So YouTube is a better platform than Twitch is. Twitch has a higher volume of streamers, but it doesn't have. You can't look. Only the big performers are shown to you. The little streamers, unless they have a YouTube channel and some of their subscribers from YouTube goes over and watch them. Oh yeah, and you work hard at it, you'll be able to do a lot of things. I found a lot of things which I got to add to my descriptions. Like I have Morning Fame that helps me write the titles, write the descriptions, write the tags, so I can optimize my video or my live streams to be seen better on YouTube. I have TubeBuddy that helps me with keywords and stuff like that to be seen. I use Kavana to make my thumbnails. There's a lot of work that goes into YouTube streaming. Just like in Twitch, there's a lot of work to do it. But I have a better chance of being recognized on YouTube than I do on Twitch itself. I mean, I'm averaging, since I started live streaming here on YouTube, I started off with 1 or 2 views per live stream. Now I'm averaging, right now I got 16 playbacks so far because I set this up for DVR. So I got 16 playbacks already. With Goldrush, I'm averaging, by the time I'm done streaming, I'll have 40 to 50 views now. And then I'll get another 20 to 30 views of that live stream in replays. So I got a lot of things. And I'm not much of an entertainer. I mean, one thing I learned, and I learned this from a doctor, is I had to learn how to calm people down. Because I always met people in their worst situations in their life. You're meeting people in the worst time of their life as a paramedic and as a firefighter or as a rescue worker. And one of the things that you have to do is calm the patient down or calm the victim down to help you and to also help that. So I started using humor, a little bit of humor to get their mind off of what's going on. And now I'm finding I'm kind of doing it again, but here on there I actually have, and I'm also helping people with their channels and stuff like that. So I enjoy this. This is giving me a purpose so far in life, and I'm helping other YouTubers that are small like you to help grow their channel, and it's making me feel useful again. That's why I like YouTube. This is why I like you, the subscribers. You make me feel good, especially when I get comments. And I get some comments that aren't so good, but hey, I don't care. I'm like a duck with water. It just rolls right off. Of course, I'm also a duck like a duck in water. They seem nice and calm, just floating there on the water. But underneath, you don't see them paddling like mad. You think they're swimming calmly and all that, but they're really pedaling like mad underneath. And that's the way I feel. I feel nice and calm when I'm doing these live streams. Feel nice and calm with that. But underneath, I'm pedaling like mad to keep going. Keep the work going. So we're up to 1,265. So we are 735 ounces to go to get to 2,000 to get our gold. Then we'll go ahead and go to the blacksmith, get all this melted up. We'll buy the plant and hopefully get this set up by the end of the stream today. And it will be a tier 5 setup. Not a tier 3, not a tier 4. It will be a tier 5 setup. And I started out with a tier 1. And I still had the 3 buckets. I have not processed any gold. I have not panned an ounce of gold. I have not processed an ounce of gold. The only thing I've done is drilling. And you can make money doing this in this game. Just by drilling and collecting all those gold nuggets. Now you can't do that in hard mode. Hard mode, you got to process a ton of stuff. Yeah. Well, I found this little secret out that if you can drill, if you drill 9 holes in each square, you can make over, I've actually made over $5 million I just was experimenting and found this out. And I'd rather start off with a tier 5 than do a tier 3 setup. Now, if you want, that not time for a commercial yet. So there's a lot of things that goes on in this game. Each people play this game differently. You can do this game differently. I got a hardcore series I'm going to be doing. Hopefully, if I feel good. Now next week, I'll be doing Tuesday. I'll be live streaming Tuesday with the hardcore Gold Rush the Hardcore series. I'll be live streaming Thursday this series, but Buddy1927 Mining Company, and then Friday I'll be live streaming the new game that we are debuting as an alpha game this coming Fridays. So if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button and bell. That way you know when I'll go live with that special game. And I think you all will enjoy this game. And you want to help support this channel, hit that like button. Every like I get helps this channel be seen, which helps grow this channel. And I really want to grow this channel into a streaming channel. So hit that like button. I would really appreciate that. But yes, we are up to... I don't know, we're up to 700 and... No, 600 and... No, 700 and... No, 600... No, 700 and... My mind just went out. 713 ounces to go. And we still got that area to drill. Remember, I'm drilling 9 holes per section. And once I reach... Oh, got another nugget. So up to 1297. Once we reach 2000, then I'll just drill 1 hole. If we haven't finished the map, I'll just drill 1 hole per square instead of 9 holes per square. We'll go to the blacksmith, smelt everything, then buy the tier 5 setup. So we got a lot to do in this game, and this game is a good game, but not really. This game is a good game to play, but it's really outdated. Can't play multiplayer. You can't do a lot of things with this game. And it has a very old game engine. And I kind of wish the developers of this game, or the owners of this game, because this game has been sold 4 different times by 4 different gaming companies. And the current gaming company has actually banned me from the Steam discussion board for suggesting that they start a new game. And they took it as I was advertising another game. I never once said a new game. I was telling them to make a new game called Gold Rush 2 or Gold Rush 2022 or whatever. I never once mentioned that there are other games that are coming out, gold mining games that are coming out, and that they need to get ahead of their competition. Well, they decided I was advertising. Never once mentioned another game, and that kind of ticked me off. But we are doing good. I still enjoy playing this game. I still enjoy live streaming it. This game is basically about drilling, digging, and digging. And if you watch the Gold Rush series, you know who Tony Beats is. We're up to 1311. And one of his mottos is, you want to know where the gold is? You got to drill, 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 and drill some more. And then drill, 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 and drill some more. That's what I'm doing right now, is drilling, 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 drilling some more. I've been drilling now for 3 days. this and drilling. I mean actual days, not game days, but because right now I'm still in season 1, game 3, day 3, and it's almost, it's 21:36 game time. It's actually 12:54 real time, and I am playing this in real time mode. The only time I speed up the game is when I'm smelting, so it doesn't take me 15 minutes per bar. It takes about 5 minutes per bar, but then I slow it back down to real time. You use a lot less fuel, and you can do a lot more in real time than you can 12 times the speed or 6 times the speed. And that's one of the things I like about this game. You can actually vary the time that you play, how you play this game. That's one thing I do like about this game. So we're doing pretty good today. We're up to 1,321 ounces of gold. Our goal today is to get to 2,000. Maybe over 2,000. Another 14 ounce, so we're up to 3,335 ounces. So reaching our goal quickly. Now, the more you drill, I have actually smelted 2,900 ounces of gold so far in the nuggets that I have, because every 1,000 ounces, when I first started, when I got to 600 ounces, I smelted that and bought the parcel. Then I got another 300,000. I bought the drill machine that I'm using now because I actually own it. Repaired the water tower. Bought the big pump and the hoses and started filling up the water tower because it holds 1,000,000 gallons of gas. Holds 1,000,000 gallons of water, and it takes a while to fill it up at 53 gallons per minute. So it takes a while to fill up. I'm hoping by the time we get the wash plant up and running, that we'd be close to that 1,000,000. And if I get 2,500 ounces, we'll have enough for Tier 5 setup, and I'm hoping enough to buy a Frankenstein. I start off using the Frankenstein, because when I was playing the leaderboards, and I didn't realize that, I thought the leaderboards, because they had an announcement that the leaderboards were ending the 29th of October. Well, it didn't end until the 3rd of November. Oh yeah, I mean, I have in Tier 5 no problem. That's not a problem. I mean, right now I got $1.6 million. I bought all the sluice boxes. Got the water tower fixed. I own the parcel. Still got 3 buckets of gold to process from the hog pan that I started out with. I've just been drilling nuggets. Drilling nuggets. I love nuggets. Ah, another nugget. 13.61 ounces. 1,349 ounces. We're getting there. Actually, I got the excavator. I got a dump truck. I don't have the plow yet. I haven't got the dozer yet. But I already got the excavator. I got the big fuel tank set up. I got the generator set up. So all I need now is just to buy the wash plant. And if I have enough money after I buy the Tier 5 wash plant, I got everything to go. I got 1 dump truck and an excavator. So I can get going that way. But if I can make enough money to buy the Frankenstein, I don't need the dump truck right now. I can just load it right into the wash plant and don't need to haul dirt. I just continuously feed the thing until the wash plant is full. So I have a plan. I do have a plan. Yes. That's my whole plan. My whole plan is to get a bunch of these things. Now, one thing I did discover that I did when I first started, I turned off when I first, after I played it when I first started playing this game, I turned off this option, which was digging help. And I couldn't remember how to, I thought it was a key that you had to press to see where it gives you a little zone where you can actually, shows you where you will dump and stuff like that. And I've seen it on other YouTube channels. Oh yeah, I'll buy the dozer later, but I can use the excavator and actually I can clean the bedrock pretty well with an excavator. And once I get high enough, I'll buy a second excavator, one for the top and one for the bottom, and then I'll buy the bulldozer to help with the excavator down below. I don't like using the front end loader in the game to load. People tell me I should have a front end loader instead of a big excavator down below because it holds more dirt. Well, I can actually do, by the time I scoop up, and the front end loader is not designed for digging, it's designed to loading. That's all it's designed to load. In real life, it's designed to load, take dirt that's been piled up and load it in to the plant. Well, you can't stockpile dirt in this game, because once you dump the dirt on non-dirt, it disappears. Yeah. Oh, I agree with you. So I don't use a front end loader. I'll use 2 excavators and as many Frankensteins as I can. But my first goal is to get tier 5 setup and see if I can get enough gold for a Frankenstein. Start with a Frankenstein, start excavating, and then try to get enough gold to where I can buy the next claim, take the drill machine, go to the next claim, just drill it out so I know where all the gold is and collect the nuggets from there. And that should give me enough money to buy another Frankenstein, set that up, and keep continuously doing it. And that's my goal. My goal here on this claim, my goal on Old Arnold parcel right now, since I own it, there's gold in every square. I'm going to concentrate on the main channel. As soon as I get here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to concentrate on the main channel of gold, but I'm going to process every ounce of dirt here on this parcel. I'm going to empty this parcel out. Now, Rivertown's the next claim. Rivertown has dead zones. You only have certain areas where you actually have gold in it. Yeah, I'm not going to buy the conveyor and hopper. I'm going to use the if I got enough money to buy the Frankenstein, that's what I'm going to use. So I could at least if I have to start using dump trucks, I can at least dump the payload in, run the dirt up to where the excavator ends, and dump a load, then fill a truck, then come back, then run the Frankenstein, and then dump another load once that hopper is filled in the Frankenstein, and then dump another load, so that way we get a continuous run, then and continue on. This is where a two-player game would having help. You can have one person on the excavator, one person on the dump truck, one person on the Frankenstein, one person monitoring the wash plant. It would be nice. Oh, yeah. I'm going to try to keep at least 500. I'm going to try to keep $500,000 on hand at all times for repairs, for repairs and stuff like that. Because, you know, once one thing breaks, a whole bunch of other things are going to break. The only thing that actually saved me in the leaderboards is I ended up with 2 mechanics. And they were all tier 3 mechanics, so they prevent a lot of breakage. So I didn't really, once something was being worn out, they'll go ahead and start repairing it. That's one of the good things about a tier 3 mechanic. Since I'm playing, everything's going to be, every employee I hire, which I already have one employee, but everybody I hire is going to be a tier 1 player, so I won't have that. Let me show you what I'm talking about on the gold map. Okay, this is my gold map. This is where I'm going to start. I'm going to take this section and just come across here, come down through here, and then start cleaning out this section, because there's a good deposit right here. Cleaning out this section, then this coming up here, and then continuing up and get the rest of this go like that. The reason why I'm not going to clear out this whole section. Yeah, so do I, and that's one of the things I suggested to them. But I'm not going to clear off this whole section as I go, because I'm going to need an excavator up top. I'm going to need one below, plus Frankensteins. Plus, I also need access for the pickup truck to refuel this thing. So if I take this whole section out here, there's no way, unless I build a ramp, there's no way for the fuel truck to refuel the excavators, plus the working lights, because I'm live streaming this. So I need lights so y'all can see what I'm doing. Because right now, y'all can't see what I'm doing, except for where the headlights are. So I need lights. So I need to buy a ton of generator with lights and all that, so you all can see what I'm doing. Oh, we're up to 1,412 ounces. So we got 588 ounces to go for the 2,000 mark. And we still got a good section to go. We should be able to get that. But there's a lot of things you can do. Now, Gold Rush does have an easy mode where everything costs $1. So you can kind of play around with what Gold Rush has. But I kind of wish they had it, just like you said, Christina, where they actually had it to, so you can, like it's in real life, where you set up a wash plant, have a area where you can dump the dirt, and you pick up, then in your dump truck, and then stockpile a whole bunch of hay. And then I actually would like to see where they actually have overburden, on this, and you got to clear the overburden. Then you got to figure out where to do that. Then you set up your wash plant, and set up a wash pad yourself, like they do in the real TV show. And then be able to set up another pad, as you, like Parker does in the Gold Rush series. He moves his plant around to get closer to the pay, so he doesn't run the fuel as much. So that's one thing I like to see. I agree with you, Christina, on that. I kind of wish they had it like they were doing that. I've seen there's a couple I've seen on Steam there's a couple new gold mining games that are coming out. I have one that's early access right now that I've been trying to play, but it's not. You see the video, but it's not playing like the video. It's still early access, so they got a lot of bugs to work on. And if they fix a lot of the bugs that I'm using, I might start live streaming that one. And there's some other games that are in development that I've read that are going to be closer to like Gold Rush, the TV series. There's one game that actually will have dredge, and it's a combination of Gold Rush and Bering Sea Gold, where you can dig and get gold from underneath the ocean. And it's going to be, I think that game's going to be coming out in 2022 for early access. And they haven't set a date. They just said sometime in 2002. So I'm keeping track of that game. I'm following the development of that game. And there's a couple of other games that are in the development stages. They haven't even gone into alpha stage yet. They are into development stages. And that's why I was trying to say to the developers of Gold Rush to go ahead and you need to make a new game, make it multiplayer, and make it like the TV series itself. Because right now, this is season 1, where Todd Hoffman, I've already made more gold than Todd Hoffman in season 1, 2, and 3 combined. And I haven't even started digging. But this is season 1. They're in season, 12 now in Gold Rush? And there's a lot of new equipment. They got bigger, they got better dump trucks. They got bigger excavators. They got bigger dozers where you have to clear the thing up. Oh, I would love somebody to develop a game just like Gold Rush, where you can use a dredge like Tony Hoffman, where you have Tony Beach uses, and you got to set up that, where you have to set up your ponds, your water ponds, so you can have fresh water for your wash plant. Place the water, your dirty water, in the tailings ponds, and then kind of recycle the water, and making sure that the tailing water your clean water doesn't get dirty and stuff like that. I would love to see a game just like Gold Rush. All the problems that they have to think about and overcome, and I would love to see a game like that. We're up to 1,442 ounces of gold. We're doing pretty good right now. And I would love to see a game like that, Christina. So there's a lot of stuff. Now this part is the boring part of the game, because I'm doing drilling this so I can get enough gold to do a tier 5 and hopefully do get a Frankenstein, so I don't have to use so I don't have to use the feeder hopper, the hopper feeder, the hopper conveyor belt. And that's my plan. And I also want to show you all some of the other stuff that you can do in this game. But this game, people can play it differently. That's why I'm playing the hard mode series. So you can see what it's like hard mode. It's a little bit more realistic than the other one. Oh yeah. Oh, see what Discovery Plus. Discovery has a app now that it's called Discovery Plus, and it has all the series and stuff like that, and you can make a wish list on it. And I didn't start watching Gold Rush. I watched it the first season. I watched like the first couple of episodes. And I did not like Todd Hoffman. I thought he was let's see, this is a family-friendly channel. I thought he was a donkey, if you know what I mean. And I stopped watching. Then I picked it up like in season 6, and I started watching it on a regular basis. Well, now what I've done, I got the Discovery Channel. And I get to see the episode before it's aired on Discovery. Oh yeah, I loved it when in season 1 when Parker was 15 years old and showing Todd Hoffman how to dig and saying, "Oh, they're so excited over one flake of gold." I love that. But what I've done is since I got Discovery Plus, I've gone back and binge watched the whole series, and now I'm up to the current. I'm up to date again on all that, and I loved it. I thought it was hilarious, and how Parker has grown. What do you mean by that? Not trusting in God? Oh, I did not. Yeah. I forgot about that. But, yeah, God does help you. I mean, it's helped me. But I'm not a gold miner. Did I slide? Yeah, I did slide. Or did I? I don't know where I'm at now. Oh yeah, I did slide down. Oh, I trust in God. I mean, I wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for God. Well, see, I'm PK, which is the preacher's kid, and I was raised growing up in a church, and God will provide you with what you need to live if you trust in Him. You don't beg God for gold like Todd Hoffman and Jack did a lot of. Now, I'm also watching Lost Mines at, what's his name? Dave Yeah. He also went to he also went to seminary. He also studied in seminary school, become a preacher. Dave Turn, thank you, Christina. Yeah, Dave Turn. Now he doesn't ask like Jack and Todd did, but he did ask to help the family of his crew and stuff like that to be able to support their family. He doesn't say, "Hey, give us gold." He said, "Give us enough gold to help support our families." So this is different the way Todd was doing, and the way in my opinion, Todd Hoffman was a hypocrite. They turn. He believes in God. He trusts in God. He has God has blessed him with a lot of things, and to me, the way Todd Hoffman was doing, he wasn't even thinking. He wasn't even learning how to mine. He'll start one project and go to another one, and this, that, and the other thing. He never learned how to mine. Dave Turn already knew how to mine because he had that rock quarry business that his family started, and his family believed in God. And unfortunately, last season his father died, and unfortunately Jesse died. His guy who ran his. I'm watching the last series, the last season of Dave Turn's Lost Mines. But he lost Jesse. He lost the guy who ran his gold room for 3 years. He lost his father also that year too. But he never lost his faith in God to help. Now, and he's praying for gold to help Jesse's family, to help his crew members' family, because the season I'm watching now, they're going to give Jesse's share, just like if Jesse was there the whole season. So he gets to share. Family will get his share of that. So I kind of enjoyed that. But he's not asking God to give him gold. He's asking God to help the family. So there's a big difference between Dave Turn and Todd Hoffman and the Hoffmans themselves. I mean, why would you start? Jack wanted to go back into gold mining, and he's already gone bust twice before they went to Alaska. So why are you going to trust an old guy who's already lost all twice gold mining? Why are you going to and then get into gold mining yourself? I don't know why they did that. To me, I think people get that gold fever and they think that God's going to show them where the gold is and become rich. God's going to give you what you need to survive in this world. He's not going to give you anything. Well, he might give you some stuff to help you, but he's not going to give you anything. I mean, if you ask for $1 million, he's not going to give you $1 million. He's just going to give you enough to survive. I mean, this my life itself. I mean, I believe in God, and I believe in Jesus Christ, and I have firsthand knowledge. I brought people back from life, and I believe God gave me the talent to do that. I also believe God has saved. I have a guardian angel, because I've been in situations that should have killed me, and all I did is get injured or get out of the situation unharmed, but it should have killed me. So yes, I believe there's a God. Yes, I believe there's Jesus Christ. But God and Jesus, I mean, there's a saying, You can give a man a fish to eat, but if you teach the man to fish, he will eat the rest of his life. So that's what you need to do. Is God needs you learn for yourself to provide for yourself, and that's what God is talking about. So there's a lot of things about God that, I mean, I got injured. I was doing a job that I loved. I enjoyed for 35 years, and suddenly I slipped. I have 5 bulging discs. I'm told I'm no longer able to get on an ambulance or a fire truck or a rescue truck. My whole livelihood went away, and I wasn't making much money. I had maybe $5,000 in the bank when that happened. And when after workman's comp, I settled with workman's comp and started filing for disability. It took 7 years, and I went through that $5,000. Did not get a good settlement. I got a year's worth of salary because I unfortunately was working for a private ambulance company when I got injured. I got a year's worth of salary instead of 5 years. That workman's comp here in North Carolina say you can get a maximum of 5 years salary from a workman's comp settlement. But since they were self-insured, because they were self-insured, they only had enough money to pay me a year. And about 6 months later, they went out of business after I did my settlement. And I went 7 years without one dime coming in. I had to sell the trailer I was living in. I had to move in with my mother. I owned the trailer outright. That's the only thing I had going for me. The only thing I was paying was a lot rent of $130. Oh yeah. But see, man themselves, God will help you no matter what, but man himself, you got to believe in yourself too. Hang on a second. YouTube is blocking that, so let me do this real quick. And I need to come over here and hit show so everybody can see what you're talking about. That's the only thing I don't like about YouTube. They censor a lot of people. Yeah, the glory hole. I mean, what's his name? In season 2, now they do the whitewater ones. When he dug down, there wasn't that much gold in that glory hole that Jack was hunting. Yeah. But God gives you a reason. God gives you abilities. You just gotta trust him. He'll give you enough to provide for you. You gotta trust in yourself and find what you can do to help yourself. God will help you and will show you the way. And like I said, I was 7 years. I was very depressed. And I finally got my disability and got my money. Oh yeah. But right now, look at me. I'm back. I get disability once a month. This is enough to live on. I have to live with my mother. I pay rent to my mother. I mean, I could. I'm this is a little bit above poverty, so I only get Social Security disability. I don't get I don't get SSI in addition to my Social Security. I do get Medicare, and I have to pay for my supplement. But I make enough money to have food, pay my mother rent here at the house. Not much. I pay about $400 a month to my mother to help her out with the house. I mean, my sister and her mother, my sister and her husband and her son also live in the house and help with the bills. My mother's 81 years old and on Social Security, and she was having, when she retired, I mean, when my father died, I moved up here, North Carolina, from Florida. My father died because she left. My father died. He only had $20,000 of life insurance because he canceled it all. And I moved up here to help my mother out. And she had a double mortgage on the house, so I paid off the mortgage. The second mortgage, and she continued paying the first mortgage. I paid off the second mortgage. Then I had the opportunity to move out, so I moved out. My mother was in good set. Then my sister and my mother got together, and they bought a bigger house because she had 3 kids at the time. Oh yeah. I mean, my mother's now 81 years old. When I first moved up here, she was 58 years old, double mortgage. My father died, and I moved up to help her. Then I finally paid off her second mortgage and moved out on my own. I moved around a little bit. As a PK, we moved around a lot, so we didn't do a lot. But I still was I got a job as a paramedic. They finally went, when I first moved up here, I got a job as for a private ambulance company, and I was volunteering at a rescue squad and that rescue squad was the only paramedic level ambulance company in the county. The county was mainly intermediate. All the other ambulance companies were intermediate, and they were all volunteer. The only paid ambulance company was in Goldsboro City. And Goldsboro City didn't have any openings when I moved up here, but I found a private ambulance company that did transport, and they also did paramedic level. Oh yeah. My mother, the only thing with her now, she's in the early stages of dementia. And I look almost identical to my father. You can tell that my father, I am my father's son. I look like him when he was younger. I look like him now, except for my hair's shorter. I have a buzz cut that I've had since I've been a firefighter paramedic. I always kept my hair short because the heat and stuff like that. Working in the summer and stuff like that, I always kept my hair short, like my grandfather, who was an army man. I kept my hair short because it was cooler. But my mother's in the early stages of dementia now. And she starts yelling at me from time to time because she's upset. I look like my dad, and she still knows that he's dead, but I look like my dad, so she's mad at me because she thinks I'm dad who left her. If that makes sense. If that makes sense. She's mad at my dad for dying too young. Because he was 58 when he died. He was a young man. And if I keep up the Walter tradition, on my father's side, I probably have a year left. So I'm 57 now. And most of the males on my father's side have not lived past the age of 60. Most of them died at age 58. Except for my grandfather. He died at 71, but he had Alzheimer's. I still have his youngest brother is still alive. And they had another brother that lived. He died at 58, but he was hit by the car. He was hit by a car, and they had to do a lobotomy on him to keep him alive. And he stayed in a nursing home, and he finally succumbed to the injuries about 10 years later. And he died at 58. But my other uncle, who's still alive, he's 68, 69 years old now. My grandparents had him late in life. He was a surprise. But hey, life goes on. Life goes on, no matter what you do. Life goes on. That's how I look at life now. I mean, I've seen people die. Actually die. And I've seen people that were dead that I brought back to life. I've seen people that should not have died, but died. And I've seen people that should have been killed survive. So it's very interesting. Oh, we're up to 1,555 ounces. You still got... I'm going to try to get to 2,500. But there's a lot of things in life that you just got to look at. There's a plan in life. If you believe in God, there's a reason for everything. You might not know what the reason is, but there's a reason for everything. And now I'm starting a new life. I'm enjoying my new career as a YouTube creator. And enjoying all my subscribers and people that talk to me on chat. And I really do appreciate it. Yeah. It takes a while. You have to dig a lot of holes. I'll show you something real quick. Let me go to the map. This is the gold map, right? You can see where all the gold is. You zoom in. These are all my drill holes. So far. Every one of those dots is a drill hole. Now you back out, you don't see them. So I've done a lot of drilling. I've done literally about 3 to 4 days worth of drilling on this map, real days. But it takes a while. So this game is actually pretty good. If you enjoy the game, that's fine. You can take the drill and just drill one hole per there, and then start with a tier 2, and work your way up to tier 3 and tier 4. But if you take your time doing what I'm doing, you can start off with a tier 5. And this is what I like to do. Gives you a little bit of a jump start. You own the parcel, so you're saving 30% of the gold costs that you have. So there's a lot of things in this game that I enjoy. I enjoy this game. It actually relaxes me. Sometimes it's boring. Sometimes it's interesting. Like right now, it's interesting to get to the gold nuggets. Yeah. And if you check like Rivertown, there's only pockets of gold, and the rest of the rest rest of the plots don't. The rest of the these are plots. Each one of those squares is a plot. The rest of the plots have no gold, so there's no reason to dig. So you got to search where the gold is, and then dig out the gold and try to figure out how to get down to the bottom. So you got to plan ahead. You got like Rare Time, you got to plan. Nighthawk, you got to plan. And the last thing, you got to plan. But see, if I already start off with tier 5, yeah, peck and hunt, yeah. And like right now, I'm in a different terrain, and sometimes I slide, so I'm trying to stay on track where I'm going. So I get all 9 holes. I've missed some holes because of the terrain, but I'm doing pretty good. We're up to 1,587 ounces. I'm doing pretty good. And I'm enjoying this game. It helps me relax because I do stress out. That's one of the things I like about live streaming than making videos. And I still make videos, but I'm a perfectionist. And I have to edit the video. I take 2 hours of gameplay, record 2 hours of gameplay, then I got to edit that 2 hours of gameplay down to 30 minutes. And the video has to be perfect for me. Here, if I make a mistake, I make a mistake. Y'all laugh at me for making a mistake, but I made a mistake, and I go on. We're up to 1,603 ounces, so we're up to 397 ounces to go. So we're doing pretty good. And talking with y'all, this is actually going by a lot faster for me. Of course, it's now. I've been streaming now for 1 hour and 45 minutes. And I know this is the most boring part. But we're doing pretty good. Yeah. You see, when I make videos, it's a lot of work. I mean, it takes me 10 hours to make one video. That's recording, editing, and uploading. And it stresses me out. When I'm live streaming, hey, I don't edit. Everything's real. Now, I should edit my replays, but I don't. And thank you, Christina. But there's different ways to play this game, and I just find this game relaxing. And that's the only thing I hate is when I make the videos. That's one of the reasons why I went with this, because it's kind of hard to show you what in a video. It's kind of hard to show you all the work you have to do to get to where you're at. In live stream, I can show you exactly all the work you got to do to get where you're at. I do play a little off camera. But we get a lot of work. There's a lot of work in this game, and I love this game. It's relaxing. And I've been gaming since the late 70s. I've been PC gaming since the late 70s. My first console game was Pong. I'm old. And a lot of people don't know what Pong is. All it was a white dot with two hashes that the dot bounced back and forth, and you move the hashes up and down, which were paddles. And you move them up and down. You can play single player, or you can play against somebody else. Well, see, I've been playing this game. I actually started playing this game when it first came out, which was, I think, early 2018. When it was early access. And there was a lot of glitches in this game. And I was playing it, and I even tried making a couple videos, and I couldn't make the videos because the game was so glitchy, and I stopped playing the game. And I started playing it again a year later, and still glitchy, but it was a little bit more improved. Then in 2020, I started making videos out of it. And the new company that bought the game, they started doing regular updates because the update stopped for a while. And then the company who now owns it, they do updates at least once a month and try to fix what they can. Oh yeah. I mean, when I got my disability back pay, and I've already knew I was going to concentrate on YouTube. I actually had Origin build me a gaming computer, which was in 2019. I've had this computer almost now for 2 years. It's outdated now, according to the new specs that new computers have. It's outdated, but it hangs on. My last computer I had for 15 years. My last gaming computer I had for 15 years. I kept on upgrading it and upgrading it. Did a ton of upgrades on it. I mean, I replaced the motherboard, I replaced the CPU, I replaced the graphic card. It just got to the point where it was cheaper for me to have somebody build it for me than it was for me to. And I just was so stressed out I couldn't build my own, which I should have done. I had Origin build me this computer, and it's been a wonderful gaming computer. I could play all the Untitled games, no problems. Now, I did have a laptop, because when I was playing World of Warcraft, I had a laptop that I would take to work and play World of Warcraft in between calls and stuff like that. With that laptop, it got to the point where this couldn't handle the games no more. And I haven't owned a laptop since then. I'd like to get another laptop, but I don't go anywhere for a laptop. I got a nice desk computer. I got 3 monitors. I got a camera that I should be using. I got a good camera. I got a 4K camera that I should be using that I'm not. I got Stream Deck, 32 key Stream Deck. I got Elgato lights. I got Elgato green screen. But which I was using originally, but then I just got to the point I just don't want the hassle of that. And then I did a stupid thing and reset Windows, which was stupid because I was trying to get it set up so I can get Windows 11. So I meet the criteria for Windows 11. I hit the wrong button and reset Windows. So now I still got drivers I got to upload and reload and all that. I mean, my light is not working. My Elgato light's not working. Because I gotta get the drivers for that. And don't ever reset your Windows. Uh-oh, we're getting close. We might run out. Nah, we should have 2,000, no problem. I want to get a little bit more than 2,000, though. But we're doing good right now. We've been doing this for almost 2 hours. I'm sorry, guys, this is boring. Patrick, you still there? I haven't heard from you. I guess Patrick got bored. He's my junior firefighter. Do one thing real quick. Oh, that feels better. I gotta put my leg up on top of the table so I can stretch. But we're doing pretty good right now. What are we at? 1668 right now in ounces. Go 10 feet and drill. Go 10 feet and drill. Go 10 feet and drill. Oh, man. Took some Tylenol before. Took some Tylenol and some Claritin. Yeah, Claritin. Took some Claritin and Tylenol to help with my headache and my sinuses from my cold. Nose stopped running. That's good. But my headache's coming back. That's the only problem. When I'm sick, I get migraines. And I don't know why I get migraines. And I think I'm on the verge of a migraine right now. Now, Friday, we will have a special game. It's an alpha release game. But I think you all will enjoy it. So if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button and bell. That way you need... Oh, yeah. That way you know when I go live here on YouTube and when I update the thing. If you want to help support this channel, hit that like button. Every like I get gets this channel seen a little bit more, which helps support this channel, and I would really appreciate that. I don't take calls from you. I'm drinking Monster energy drinks right now. I'm drinking Blackout, which is a 0 sugar energy drink. I'm diabetic, so I can't drink the other ones. Yeah, thank you for the like, Christina. But I'm drinking Monster energy drinks right now. I used to drink coffee like, I used to drink like 2 pots a day. And I stopped drinking coffee because I got addicted to coffee. But I drink a lot of, I used to drink a lot of tea, and now I still drink a lot of tea. Yet when I'm not on the, when I'm not live streaming, I drink I make my own tea, which is a combination of black tea and green tea. Yeah. Well, see, Monster Energy helps me concentrate. It has caffeine in it. So I get the caffeine kick, plus it also has vitamins that help you with your mind and stuff like that. I hit break, drill. But I've been drinking these. This is called Blackout, which is a black cherry taste drink. I get on Amazon. I buy them by the case. It's actually, Walmart doesn't even carry this brand, this type of Monster Energy drink. And I actually find out it's actually cheaper to buy it on Amazon because I get free. I'm a Prime member, so I get free shipping. So I buy 3 cases a month, and I drink about 2 to 3 cans a day in the morning. Then I drink tea in the afternoon, which I should be drinking now, but kind of got up late this morning, and I need to make some more tea. I got a glass left. So right now I'm on my 3rd Monster Energy drink, which is not good. And I got a 4th one waiting for me. But since I feel terrible, it actually makes me feel a little bit better, because this has B1, B12, vitamin C, and some other drinks. I mean, I take a vitamin C pill every day that has echinacea and some other stuff that usually helps me fight colds and keeps me pretty healthy. It's just this cold has been kicking my butt. And I've been doing what the old wise tale says: starve a cold, feed a fever. Or is it feed a cold and starve a fever? I don't know. Whatever the old wise tale is. I'm starving the cold. I'm not eating as much as I usually do. But I am taking my vitamins. Drinking my vitamins. I also take a lot of medicine, which right now I'm on 11 different types of medicine right now. I'm off of insulin, which is great. And I was taking, when I was in the clinic, I was taking 21 different pills plus 3 different types of insulin. But now, I'm off the insulin. Since I'm at my regular doctor again, I'm off the insulin. I'm only taking 2 diabetic pills. And I went from 21 pills to 11 pills. So that's good. But one of the diabetic pills I have to take twice a day, and it's a horse pill. But I got to take 3 pills twice a day. So I got to take them in the morning and in the evening. So in the morning, all I have to do is take 3 pills, and in the evening, I got to take 11 pills. So I literally take a handful of pills every night before I go to bed. So, up to 1,690 ounces. So we got a lot of things that I take, and I gotta take a pill to help me sleep. Because I still have nightmares of bad calls that I've been on. And if I don't take, basically what it is a sedative that lets me sleep and not dream. Well, it lets me sleep. I do dream, but I don't wake up in the morning. I don't remember the dreams. And dreams don't wake me up in the middle of the night. So I actually sleep through the night now. But I'm hoping to get off that. I'm hoping to wean myself off of that. But I have a disease that is the worst disease that you can ever have, is diabetes. It can kill you. It destroys your body within. I have neuropathy throughout my whole body. But it continues on. But life gets better. I got my sugar under control finally. I watch what I eat. I was up to 310 pounds. I'm down to 161 pounds. So I've lost a lot of weight, which helped. But most of that weight was not fat. It was muscle that I had. I had a lot of muscle. I had a little beer gut. I didn't drink beer. I drank a lot of Dr. Pepper. I used to drink about a case every 2 days. That was my source. And it had a lot of sugar. And if you don't use that energy, that sugar turns into fat. And that's where it was stored in my gut. And then when I also ate a lot of fast food because of my job. But then when I reached 310 pounds and my cholesterol was out of weight, I was still working at the time. And my doctor said, well, you need, because my body index was only 20% fat, which isn't bad. I was in my 40s, so it wasn't bad, but so I had a lot of muscle mass. But my cholesterol went out of whack, so. And he also diagnosed me with diabetes. So I stopped drinking. I stopped drinking Dr. Pepper. I stopped drinking sweet tea. Within 3 months, I lost 50 pounds. Just by doing that. So I went from 310 to 260. And I was still eating a lot of fast food. I went from sweet tea to unsweet tea at McDonald's or wherever, McDonald's, Wendy's, Arby's, wherever we got lunch and dinner from, because we always had to grab something. Then I started bringing food to work, because when I was off, I ate at home. I ate my food. I made my own food because it was expensive eating out. So I started bringing food to work. And then I was down to 210 pounds to stop eating fast foods. So I've lost a lot of weight, and I did a lot of things. And I was feeling better. Then I got hurt. Doctor wanted me down, and then I got injured. Stopped seeing my doctor. Started going to the clinic. My sugar got out of whack. Everything went out of whack when I got injured. We're up to 1,715 ounces. We're going there. Doing pretty good. So life goes on. Things happen in life. And life goes on. Our goal right now, I've already bought all the sluice boxes. I've already repaired the water tower and got the big pump filling the water tower up right now. I got all the materials that you need to set up the wash plant. I got a excavator already. Got a dump truck. All we need to do is buy the wash plant, and our goal is to get a tier 5 wash plant, and I'm hoping to have enough money left over to buy a Frankenstein so I don't have to buy the conveyor. I just buy the wash plant and use the Frankenstein as the conveyor belt, which is my goal, and kind of run it to feed the wash plant. Then try to daisy chain the conveyor belt. Try to daisy chain a bunch of Frankensteins to get the dirt. That's the goal. Come on, gold nuggets. Want some gold nuggets? Already done the commercial. We're hunting for gold nuggets right now. And we're getting close to the end of the claim. Unfortunately, I've been doing this now for 2 hours. Actually, I've been doing this for almost 4 days. I was planning on getting this done before I went live streaming, but I got sick during the weekend and Monday, so I didn't play a lot. Well, up to 1730 ounces. So that's 370 ounces to go for 1800, or no, 370 ounces to go to get to 2000. And what I like to do is get the tier 5 wash plant set up today. If not, if I don't get a chance to do it today, I'll go ahead and set it up for the next live stream. Oh, excuse me. If I can keep my headache from exploding my head right now. So right now my headache's getting a little worse. It's turning into a migraine, but I'm trying to keep it from turning into a migraine. It's one of the reasons why I drink caffeine. Try to drink a lot of I have caffeinated drinks, is because caffeine actually helps the migraines. I used to never have migraines. But then I had a head injury in the line of duty about 30 years ago. I had a severe concussion. No, it wasn't 30 years ago, about 25 years ago, I'm sorry. 25 years ago. That part of the roof caved in on me and smashed my SCBA and smashed my helmet. That's the only thing that saved me from breaking my back. Was the air tank on my back, and smashing my skull was my fire helmet. It's the only thing that saved me, and God. But I ended up with severe concussion, and I broke my collarbone out of it, which, if I didn't have the air pack on and the helmet, I would have been killed. It would have broke my back, definitely, because it was a steel beam that fell on me. It was a steel I-beam that fell on me. Not a wood. It was a steel I-beam that fell on me, and I just happened to fall right in the corner of a wall that was on. I was going up the stairs, and I happened to just fall right in the corner. So when I was going up the stairs, when the I-beam fell on top of me, I kind of rolled into the corner, so I didn't get the full weight of the wall itself. Took some of the force of the I-beam off of me. So, but ever since then, when I get sick, I get migraines. And when I stress out, I get migraines. So I learned how to control my stress so I don't stress out. But I learned a lot of things in life. I was always, my grandfather always said, if you didn't learn something every day, you're dead. So always look at life as a learning lesson. I don't watch a lot of junk on TV. I do watch some TV series like Chicago Fire, Chicago PD. Now, Chicago Fire, I know the way they do it is so unrealistic as firefighting. But they do kind of touch on what firefighters go through and what paramedics go through on it. I mean, some of the stuff you could tell they've researched it. I mean, this is one of the better shows. The best show I've ever seen that actually was good about firefighting was Emergency. That was close reality. And that show was developed by Jack Webb, who played Dragnet. He was also one of the producers of Dragnet, and he produced Emergency back in the 70s and early 80s. And they actually took most of the stories from Los Angeles County firefighters, fire calls that they went on. So a lot of it's realistic, and a lot of it looked realistic. Best movie I've ever seen that was good about firefighting was Backdraft. Backdraft was the best movie I've ever seen that depicted firefighting and what firefighters go through. If you're married as a firefighter, it's hard on a marriage because you're gone 24 hours at a time. Sometimes, depending on a fire call, you're gone. Like with me, I also worked for Homeland Security and the U.S. Forestry, so I could be gone weeks at a time with my wife, working 18 hours a day. Working 18 hours a day, and I might, keyword might, have enough energy that day to call my wife. I mean, when might have enough energy to call my wife. And it took a toll on my marriage. I'll, I'll admit it. Her biggest complaint was she did not know, because I got injured several times when I was married as a firefighter, and she's gone to the hospital. To see me, get checked out. And she got to the point where she was worried about me every time. She didn't know if when I left if I was going to come home. Well, up to 1,790 ounces of gold. And that's one thing about being a firefighter, paramedic, rescue worker, and a police officer. We risk our lives every day. There are more first responders, which include firefighters, police officers, rescue workers, and EMS. That die in the line of duty every day. There are more of those people dying than soldiers in the United States that are in combat than in Afghanistan. There have been more firefighters, paramedics, police officers, first responders that have died in the line of duty than casualties or injured than casualties in military armed forces. I got injured in the line of duty. It took me 7 years to get my Social Security disability that I paid into. My brother-in-law, who served 25 years in the Air Force and ended up becoming disabled, didn't have to wait 7 years. And he gets a disability check. And he also works full-time. He works 60 hours a week as a store manager for AutoZone. And he doesn't... I mean, there's restriction on how much money I can make. If I make X amount of dollars, I lose my disability a year. Which is what I want to do. I want to get off to support me. I don't want to be on disability and pay back into my Social Security so when I'm ready to retire, I have a good Social Security check. But right now, with my disability, I'm set. And this is how much you get. Every month, for the rest of your life, they might increase, do cost of living increases once every 5 or 6 years. But I'm just above the poverty line. I cannot afford even to rent an apartment right now. I mean, that's ridiculous. And I paid into the system for 40 years. I mean, I've been working since I was 12. I've been paying Social Security tax since I was 12 years old. I mean, I worked on a dairy farm from 12 to 16. And the dairy farm took out taxes. I was an employee. I had a special work permit from the state to work on the dairy farm. I got paid once a week. They took out taxes. They took out the federal taxes. That's when I found out what FICA means. And then when I was 16, I started working in retail and volunteering and just working. I've been working since I was 12. I spent 40 years paying into the system. But it took me 7 years to get approved. And this happened in the line of duty. But because I was working for a private ambulance company, I don't get the state disability. Now, if I was working for a municipality, I would get state plus. I would have got state disability plus federal disability, Social Security disability. So I would have enough to live off of. Right now, I don't make enough. I make enough to give my mother $400 a month and to pay food, pay my car payments and insurance, and pay my other bills. That's it. But that's life. And life goes on. So we're doing pretty good right now. Another nugget. We're up to 1,843. We got 257 to go. 257 to go to reach our goal. And I'm thinking about increasing my goal to 2,500. So I know I have enough for the Frankenstein. Right now I got $1,666,727. And my headache's getting worse. So I'm gonna try to stream 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, hopefully 5 hours today. I'm hoping to stream but it depends on my headache. If it gets worse, I'm gonna have to take a break. I'm gonna have to get off. Friday we do have a special game planned for a live stream. It'll be 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, and I think y'all will enjoy. This is a surprise game. I think y'all will enjoy it. This is an alpha game. I think y'all will enjoy it. So if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button and bell. That way you know when I go live here on YouTube, and also when I upload other videos. And to help support this channel, hit that like button. Every like I get gets this channel seen a little bit more, which helps grow this channel, and I would really appreciate that. So we're doing pretty good today. My streams are getting longer, which is good. I used to do 2 hours. I used to be able to only do 2 hours. I'm getting stronger. I'm doing exercises so I can strengthen my back. I got a custom gaming chair when I lost my leg. At somebody who one of the nurses has a husband who makes custom, and she found out I was a gamer, who make special gaming chairs for people with disabilities. And since I had a back injury plus amputation, he custom the chair for me, and the only thing he didn't do is put my logo on it. But he did get the color I want. And I can stream a little bit longer now. So I'm doing a lot of things. I can do a lot more now than what I was able to do. I still can't lift more. I'm not supposed to lift no more than 10 pounds now. It used to be I couldn't lift no more than 5, so I've doubled that. I do my exercises every day, and I'm getting stronger. And especially since I've lost my leg, my upper body's getting strength. I still don't have my prosthesis yet, so I'm using a walker. and I use my arms to walk, which gives me better upper body strength. And for me to go up and down the stairs in the house, I have to slide on my butt and use my arms, slide down and slide up. And I go up and down the stairs at least 10 times a day to help with exercise and build my upper body, which is great. And whether it's trying to get some gold nuggets. Come on, gold nuggets! The more nuggets you get doing this, the further apart the nuggets come. But there's different ways to play this game. This game is actually a good way to relieve stress. Kind of like Lumberjack Dynasty. I'm supposed to have another video coming out tomorrow, episode 2. Welcome back to Pine Grove, but I haven't edited it yet, and I was planning on editing it tonight and start uploading it tonight while I was sleeping. But the way my headache is right now, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm just trying to get through this right now, then go on from there. Every 10 feet, drill a hole. Up to 1,880. Oh, no, we're up to 1,893 ounces of gold. That's 207 ounces to reach our 2,000 gold. But I think I'm going to up it to 2,500. So I know I have enough for Frankenstein. I mean, I got all the components you need to put the wash plant together. I already got the sloop boxes. I already got the water tower. I got the big pump filling the water tower as we speak. It only pumps 53 gallons per minute. So I'm building up the water. I have my gold room already set up. I got the mobile water tank with pump as my gold room pump, and that tank's already filled. So if the stream dries up like it does during the summertime in this game, I'll have plenty of water. I can run the gold room without worrying about doing that. We're up to 1,905. So we got 95 ounces to go to the 2,000, but I think I'm going to add another 500. So we're up to 595 ounces to go. But we're doing a lot. I know this is boring, and I really do apologize. But I'm going to try to get, I think the next episode, I'll go ahead and get the wash plant. I'll get all the money, get all the gold that we need for the wash plant, and smelt all the gold and turn in all the gold. And then the next episode we'll go ahead and set up the wash plant and start digging, because it's going to take me a while to smelt all this gold. And I like to get about 25 to 2,600 ounces of gold, because you lose a lot of money smelting gold. So I want to make sure I have a buffer of some cash after I buy everything we need to set up the wash plant. My goal is to get the tier 5 wash plant, the glacier shaker, the reinforced trumbull, get the gravel, gravel, whatever it's called, and instead of getting the hopper feeder set up, I want to get Frankenstein as my hopper feeder, and then get a daisy chain of those set up. But I also want some cash on hand, so in case we need to do repairs, we can go ahead and get some repairs done. Because you know, once something breaks, then something else is going to break, and something else is going to break, until you get a good mechanic. And all your hires, all your people that you're going to hire are going to be tier 1 hires, and they don't improve until they upgrade. And you can't retrain them. I don't know if you can retrain them or not. I think they have to be tier 3 before you can retrain them. So you have to get the right people. You gotta hire the right people that you need. So I already have one hire that his thing is the hog pan sluices, which we will have 2. We will have 2 in wash plant. So we got a lot of things going on. I'm trying to get a lot done in the next couple episodes. These live streams are long, and you get to see what it takes to do these live streams, and you get to see what it takes to start off with a tier 5. Remember, I've only dug 3 buckets and got gold nuggets while I was digging those 3 buckets, which I have not processed yet. So all the money I have gotten so far is that I've used is nothing but for it's from the nuggets I have collected. I own this drill machine, and I've had to replace just on the previous drill machine that I was renting. I had to replace the drill bit total of 4 times. I replaced with regular drill bits, but I replaced drill bits twice. The first one that comes with it, I replaced that with a reinforced drill bit. Then I had to replace that with another reinforced, and now I also have an extra reinforced drill bit. But I own this. I own an excavator. I own a dump truck. So I'm ready to sluice. All I don't own is the wash plant. So once I get the wash plant, we can go ahead and start digging dirt. And if I can get things going the right way, I won't have to worry about getting the hopper feeder. I'll use the Frankenstein as my hopper feeder. It actually holds more dirt than the hopper feeder does. And if I can dig and fill the hopper feeder as I'm digging, I can have continuously feeding the plant and only stop when I have to do a clean out. Which is what the gold is. And it'd be more proficient, and I won't lose as much. Now, one thing you got to realize when you are using a wash plant, you got to realize that from tier 4 and tier 5, if you keep the water running, you will lose gold. So I got to make sure there's pay when I'm running the wash plant, that there's pay going to the wash plant on a regular basis, so I don't lose gold. Doesn't wash out the gold. So every time I reposition the Frankenstein or reposition the excavator, I have to stop the wash plant, stop the water in the wash plant, and then just go from there. Every time I do a cleanout, I got to stop, wash out. And right now, I only have one person, and all he can do is swap out 2 mats. So, and I got a total of 2, 4, and a bucket. So I got 4 mats, 4 sleuth boxes that have mats, and then I got a nugget trap that I gotta clear out so I gotta do clean out every time. I don't have automatic swap out, but I do have enough mats and buckets to do a total of 3 clean outs, but I gotta stop and do it myself because I only have one person. And my goal is to get the people in, hire people, and get people to be able to do a lot of this stuff for me and get them leveled up from tier 1 to tier 3 employees. So there's a lot of work we got to do in this series. And my other goal is to actually get the next parcel. And it's get enough money to buy the next parcel, not lease the parcel, but actually buy it. So that's our goal. I think by the time we'll be over 2,000 by the time we finish this road. Now, each plot, which is the squares that you see on the screen right now, that's a plot. So each plot, I'm drilling 9 holes in each one. So sometimes you get nuggets, sometimes you don't. So that's a lot of drilling. Right now we're up to 1,969, or 1969, which is a good year, by the way. I was 5 in that year. I was 5 years old in 1969. And I remembered 1969. I remember the flower children. Flower power and people protesting the wars in Vietnam. Also watching the news and seeing actual battle footage. That was the first war in the United States that was actually televised on the news. And there was a lot of stuff. You see protesters. Some were peaceful. Some weren't. I remember when Martin Luther King died. And the struggle that black people were having back then. They have it a lot easier now because of Martin Luther King. A lot easier. They have a lot more opportunities than what they had back in the 60s and the early 70s. I'm not black, I'm Irish. I had a lot of black people. A lot of friends that were black, and a lot of them were successful. They work regular jobs, or hell, they make more money than I did as a paramedic. I had one friend who was black. He was a partner of mine for 5 years. And he was smart enough. I was stupid. He was smart enough. He went to school to become a PA, and he's now a physician assistant. Makes a hell of a lot more than he was as a paramedic, and can do a hell of a lot more than when he was a paramedic. So there's a lot of things. People have a lot easier nowadays than back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. There's a lot more opportunities now here in the world. Everybody has the same opportunities. I've worked in the black communities. I know what they go through. I've seen what they do to each other. But there's a lot of things that have improved, and a lot of people don't see it. Hell, I'm 57 years old. I've seen a lot. People have a lot more opportunities now than they did when I was a kid. Oh, we're up to 2,007 ounces of gold. One thing I find out about life, you get out of life what you put in. I put in the training to be a firefighter. I put in the training to be a paramedic. I put in the training to be a rescue worker. That was what I did for a career. I did the training. I knew what to do to get the training, and I did the training. I went to college. I did not get a degree because paramedic and firefighting classes that I took were considered continuing education. I mean, it takes, you don't, paramedic, if you go from going to school as a paramedic, it takes 2 years now. For me, back then it was 6 months. But back then you had to be a basic first. And you had to be a basic for at least, hang on, I dropped something. Excuse me. You had to be a basic for a year before you become a CRT, which is a cardiac rescue technician. But you also had to level up as basic. So, and that took about a year. So if you did it while you're waiting your year to go to the next level, and you level up as you did IV drug therapy, advanced airways, EOA, mass trousers, and advanced drug therapy, then you become a CRT, which is a cardiac rescue technician. Back then, it would be equivalent to in between a paramedic and an intermediate now. This is where you can read the cardiac monitor. You're given cardiac things. You actually had to defibrillate instead of using pads. You actually had to put paddles on the person and physically press the button to shock the person. You had to hold the paddles to actually do that. And then you had to be a CRT for a year before you can go to paramedic school. So when I was coming up, yes, it was those classes were considered Con Ed, but you also learn from actually doing it. You had to be active as an EMT to become a CRT. You had to be active to be from a CRT to a paramedic. And paramedics weren't that big, even back in the 80s. Back in the 80s, the only places you had basically paramedic level service was major cities where there was high populations. And then you didn't not everybody was a paramedic. You didn't have AV ambulance as a paramedic truck. You had a lot of basic trucks. You had a lot of basic trucks. You only had some. Hell, I was living in Frederick, Maryland, which is the largest county in the state of Maryland. It bordered Pennsylvania, Virginia, and West Virginia. It was bordered by 3 states. And they didn't have a paramedic level. They were only CRT level when I started. I was the first paramedic for Frederick County. And when I became a paramedic in Frederick County, I could not operate as I volunteered. I could not operate as a paramedic unless I worked out of the hospital. The doctors actually had me I had to be an employee of the hospital to operate as a paramedic. And back then, you couldn't do anything unless you had doctor's permission. You didn't have protocols like you do now. That tell you can do this, this, and this. Now, if you want to change, you need doctor's permission, but you can push this drug and this drug. Back then, we had to ask for permission to do anything. Even as a paramedic, I had to paint the picture for the doctor, describe exactly what's going on, and then request what I wanted to do, and it was up to the doctor to say yes or no. I had to get the doctor's permission. I had to actually talk to a doctor back then before I could do anything. But when I became a paramedic and like I said, I was the first paramedic in Frederick County. I had paramedic gear that I carried with me. I was a volunteer firefighter. I volunteered as a thing. I volunteered as a CRT. I wasn't a full-time county employee. They didn't even have the CRT program, which was basically 2 chase cards that covered the whole county. No, I'm sorry. When I worked in the CRT program, that was 100% volunteer. You did not have a paid person, and you only had 1 car that covered the whole county. And sometimes it wasn't in service. And the CRT program started getting busy, and the county finally realized, we need to have a CRT vehicle 24 hours a day. So they hired 9 CRTs. 9 CRTs. They all worked the 24 on, 24 off, and 4 days off after 3 24-hour shifts. So 9 employees, and then volunteers that also either worked with them or that rode with them, or if somebody called in sick, a volunteer would have to fill in. And we became part-time employees of the county. If we filled in for a paid employee, we got paid by the county. But if we decided to be the 3rd person on the CRT, then they realized we need more than 1 CRT truck, because CRT program was taken off. So they had a 2nd CRT, and CRT vehicle was just a old sheriff's vehicle. It was a sheriff's vehicle that sheriff didn't want no more, so the county took it over. I mean, it had over 100,000 miles, and then we got a 2nd vehicle. All they did is we painted and said Frederick County cardiac rescue technician. dial 911 for emergency. And they changed the lights from red and blue lights to this red and white lights. That's all they did. And they set up the second vehicle that was volunteer. And then I became a paramedic, and I had to be a hospital employee. The hospital gave me all my paramedic gear. I carried a monitor with me. So if I went to go volunteer as a paramedic for the CRT, to upgrade the truck to a paramedic level, I had to take my gear. I had to take the CRT gear off and take my gear and put it on there, because I was responsible for every drug that was in my gear. I was responsible for the cardiac monitor. I was responsible for the telemetry unit, the radio phone, basically what it is. And everything. I mean, even at the time, Maryland State Police did the medevac, or still does the medevac in there. But at that time, they were only CRT level. Even the medevac helicopters were not paramedic. They were CRTs. But the first paramedic level helicopter that the state police put in service was actually in Frederick, Maryland, and they had 3 paramedics. That was it. So there's a lot of stuff that has changed over the years. Now basically most every ambulance in the United States is paramedic level now. There's still their intermediate level, and they might have paramedic chase cars. But things have changed. People survive more crashes. So, only thing I saw in my 35 years is the violence upon people getting worse, and the drugs getting worse, and people dying from drugs, people dying from selling drugs because they got shot up by rival gang members. Even here in the county and in the city of Goldsboro, you'd be surprised how many gang shootings and people die from shooting. Here in the city of Goldsboro, in Wayne County, I mean, we got MS-13, we got the Crips, we got the Blood, we got a lot of gangs. And that's the biggest thing I've seen. Gang activity, gangs just taking over this place. And I'm going to say this one thing. There's a group called Black Lives Matter. And I agree with that saying, but all lives matter. But Black Lives Matter does not take care of what the black community needs. What's happening to the black community. Or actually the Hispanic community and the lower class white community. And that is shootings. A young black male is more likely to be shot in a gang war and killed by another black man than a police officer. They got less than 1% chance of being shot by a police officer than they are to be shot by. They got a 94% chance of being shot by another gang member. And Black Lives Matter need to take care of that. They need to support the black community and help the black community with this gang problem and the drug problems. And would not just help black lives. It'll also help the Hispanics. It'll also help the poorer classes overall. And that is what gets me burnt up. Because I have a lot of friends that are police officers, and defund the police is wrong. There's a lot of good police officers. That's because one or two bad apples, and unfortunately, they got to recruit from one source, and that's called the human race. And they got to weed out the people that apply for the jobs, and they do a lot of that. But every once in a while, somebody slips through, and unfortunately, you can't tell me who's a racist and who's not a racist. You can't tell me who's going to shoot somebody, who's going to abuse their power. You can't do that. You can't do that by just looking at somebody. I mean, I have a lot of friends who are cops. Hell, I was a SWAT medic for Palm Beach County and Wayne County. So I was a police officer. Hell, I was actually a Maryland State Trooper. I was a part-time Maryland State Trooper. All I did is fly on the helicopter. But I had to go through the same training as a state trooper did back then. I had to go through 6 months of training. I had to go through handguns and all that. They didn't have SWAT medics back then. So all I did is work part-time for the Maryland State Police after I went through all the training. And all I did is I filled in for paramedics on the helicopter if they called in sick or if they went on vacation. That's all I did as a state trooper. I had a car. Initially, it was marked. They gave me a marked police car. Back then, they were yellow with a gumball machine on there. Then I was upgraded to an unmarked car because I was part-time, and the only time I drove the car, and I'll get one that was used. I wouldn't get a brand new one. Only time I drove the car is when I had to go to work. I didn't even drive it to fire calls. I drove my own private vehicle. Or I was on that. But I've seen what troopers have to go through. I've seen what police officers have to go through. Hell, I've seen police officers being shot and had to work on them. Hell, I had a best friend of mine who was a police officer get killed in the line of duty, and I was the one who was trying to save his life. And he got shot by a gang member. And he never once fired his weapon. No, he did fire his weapon and hit the suspect. Did not kill him, but wounded the suspect. Wounded the suspect. And people were protesting. There was, as Black Lives came out and protested against the police shooting. And he's the one who shot the victim. And he's the one who got shot 6 times by the suspect. But Black Lives Matter didn't see it that way. And yes, he was a white cop. But he was also shot 6 times. And and in the news, they never said that. Hell, they didn't even say he was killed in the line of duty. In the newspaper. Now, the local news, which is Raleigh, said that the police officer died. But they still showed the protests that was happening And they covered the protest more than they didn't even cover the funeral of the police officer, fallen police officer. All they said that he died. That was it. There are more police officers that die in the line of duty because of gang violence than police officers shooting gang members. And they want to now defund the police? That's the most stupidest thing I have ever heard. They need to fund the police. Hell. Nowadays, a police officer coughs the wrong way, they get sued. I wouldn't be a police officer nowadays if you paid me. But I digress. Let's get back to the game. We're up to 2,068 ounces. And I'm sorry I did my little rant. But I'm just getting tired of the politics that's going on nowadays. Hell, I've worked in the black communities, and I know what the black communities need. They don't need protest. They don't need to be protesting against the police. They need to be helping their community, setting up programs, get them educated, because they have the same chance of being educated as anybody else here in the United States. But they use, well, we were slaves back in the 1800s, and we've been oppressed since the 70s. You're not being oppressed now. All you're doing is selling your drugs, making money, not going to school, not getting educated, dying. Hell, I've seen 15-year-old gang members get killed for selling dime bags on the wrong corner. And they quit school because they make more money selling the dime bags than going to school. So why do they need to go to school? They're making more money than I was as a paramedic. And they're only 15 years old. But their life expectancy is, if they live past their teenage life, if they survive the teenage life, might be 25. And if Black Lives Matter, they would take care of that problem. They would put resources in. Get the drugs off the streets. Get these people educated. Get them on a path that helps this world, not just this country, but this world. And there's lots of successful black people that came out of the ghettos. They get out of the ghetto. They got away from it. They get themselves educated. They pulled themselves up by their bootstraps and got themselves out of that situation. And they need to be, those black leaders, and I call them leaders because they got themselves out. They need to be the ones that the black community look upon, not the pastors, not the people of Black Lives Matter protesting against that. I mean, Al Sharpton said once in one of his sermons that there are sharks still traveling the same routes that the slave ships traveled 200 years ago to bring slaves to this country, because if they died, they were fed to the sharks, and sometimes they were just fed to the sharks. And I'm like, no, they're not. That's BS. Al Sharpton, if you're watching this, take a look at a lot of the blacks that have pulled themselves out of the ghetto, become business people, become doctors, become paramedics, police officers, stuff like that. Look at them. The other blacks community have the same, I can't even think of the word now, have the same possibility of making a career, not selling drugs, not using drugs to hide the misery because they're poor. Hell, I was poor. Ministers really don't make that much. My father was a minister. He didn't make much money. My mother had to work. I was a latchkey child. When I was growing up, my mother worked as a nurse. She worked when I was little. She worked from 3 in the afternoon to 11 o'clock at night. So we came home. We got home around 3:30. My father would be at work. Being a minister, you have to do a lot of stuff. You have to go visit people and do. The minister does a lot. So, and he didn't get home until 5. Half the time, the only time I saw my mother growing up was on her days off, and one day there was one day that she always had off, except for every once in a while she had to work a Sunday. But she was always off on Sundays. And we went to church. We had Sunday dinners. But the only time I saw my mother when I was little was when she was off, or if we went on vacation. Other than that, my mother worked 3 to 11. Sometimes I would see her in the morning. She'll get me off to school. So I did see her every day, but I wouldn't see her when she came home. When I was little, when we moved to Frederick, and I was a teenager, she was the head nurse of the ER at the time. So she worked a regular day. She basically worked days. So and when I became an EMT, I saw her more because I would see her at the hospital. But a lot of people worked a lot. I mean, my mother had to work just to help support this family. And if you work, you can put your mind to working. Selling drugs, yeah, you can make a lot of money selling drugs. But you also have a shorter life expectancy. Prostitution, same thing. I mean, there's more people. You have, what was that percentage? You have a 25% chance of getting out of a gang alive if you live past the age of 25. If you get out of the gang still alive. Most gang members usually get out about 25, 30 years old, and they become the old G, the old guard. And even then, they still have a chance of being shot by other gang members. But you had only a 25% chance of living past the age of 25. So you have a 75% chance of dying. That's not good. And that's what Black lives need to take care of. And that's what our elected officials need to take care of. Getting these people educated, helping these communities because it's not just black lives that are suffering. There's poor people, black, white, Latino, Chinese, Japanese, Asians. It's not just blacks that are suffering from this. Every race is suffering from this. And our elected officials are trying to keep people from actually doing it. I mean, they want you hooked. Our elected officials want you hooked, want you to become dependent on the government. And that is wrong. They need to help people get out of the situations. Help grow. Help them pull up by their bootstraps, not keeping them subject. Not bowing down to activists who want to defund the police. They need to support the police officers. They need to give the police officers better tools. I do agree with that. But the communities themselves need more people. And instead of giving people welfare, get the people off of welfare. Get social workers in there to help people get off of welfare and start getting a life. I mean, I'm dependent on the government right now, but I don't want to be even though I paid into it for 40 years. I paid into Social Security for 4 years. So the money I'm getting back is the money I paid into for 40 years. I never got welfare. I did get food stamps during the 7 months I had no income. And that helped me out. But I didn't qualify for SSI because I made too much money in the past. So I couldn't even get $997 a month, which would have kept me in my own trailer. I didn't qualify for SSI. I didn't qualify for welfare because I didn't have kids. There's a lot of things. I rant. I'm done. Okay, we're up to 2,081 ounces. I need to get to 25. So we're going to continue on. Again, what I'm going to do is probably get off around 4. My head is hurting. My eyes are getting a little blurry. My sight's getting a little blurry. There's a lot of things that the community in general needs to take care of. And there's a lot more people that support the police than want to defund the police. And the main ones that want to defund the police are the drug dealers, the gang members. They don't want the police officers arresting them, interrupting their drug trades, drug actions. And it's not just black people. It's drug dealers in general. They're not all black. They're all races. All race. This drug dealers of all races. It's not just black people. And that's the other thing that this world needs to know. It's just black people are not reliant. No, there's a lot of black people that are self-sufficient, that are leaders of their communities, that don't say, well, we've been oppressed since my families were slaves and we came over here as slaves. Well, my family came over as slaves from Ireland. There were white people that were slaves. There were Indian, Native Americans that were slaves. There were Asian people that were slaves. Only 25% of slaves were black. And you don't see that in your history books. All you see is black people. There was more than black people that were slaves. A lot of them were Native Americans that were slaves. There were a lot of Chinese people that were slaves. The term Shanghai, basically you were put on a boat as a slave and sent, you worked as a slave on the boat or you were sold as a slave to another country. That's what Shanghai means. And that happened a lot in China. A lot of Chinese were brought over here as slaves. Hell, even after the war, even after the Civil War, there were still Chinese slaves. They worked on the railroad as slaves. So slavery wasn't just about blacks. It was white. Every race was a slave. There was Indians, Native Americans, and people from India. There's people from Asia. Most of the slaves were either Native Americans or people brought from Asia. I'm sorry, I'm ranting, I'm raving because I got a headache and things are bothering me. And there's probably a lot of people that disagree with what I just said. But that's reality. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen the violence firsthand. I've patched up people firsthand. I've seen people dead firsthand. It wasn't just black people. There were white people. There were Asians. I mean, I worked in D.C. as a paramedic. Hell, that was back when D.C. was the murder capital of the country. They had the highest murder rate, and they weren't even a state. They had higher murder rates than states. And District of Columbia is just a city. It's actually not a city. It's the District of Columbia. It's not really a city. It's not a state. It's where the government is. And they were the murder capital when I was working in D.C. When I was working on D.C. fire, I was a paramedic. And I worked where most of the murders happened. As a matter of fact, I pronounced some of those people that were killed. And it wasn't done by the police. It was done by other people. America, you need to wake up. You need to see what's really going on. All communities need to wake up and take care of the situation that's going on. This country's going down in a handbasket. You got more gang violence now in this country than you did back in the 70s and 80s and 90s combined. Gangs are actually controlling the cities. It's not the cities controlling the people, it's the gangs controlling the cities now. And they're not just black. They're not just Asians. They're every race are gang members. So it's not black people doing this. It's not just black people. It's every race that's doing are gang members. I mean, you got the Irish. You still got Irish. You still got Irish gangs. You still got. Hell, you still got the mafia. The Italians. You got. You still got the mob that still have influence. Not as much as they used to, but they still have influence. But it's the gangs now that are controlling the cities, and that's what's is hurting these cities. And the police need the tools to take care of that. The communities need the tools to take care of that. They need to put more money into policing. They need to take more money. Yep. $142 in worker salary. They need to put more money into social programs. They need to get the people, help them pull up their bootstraps and get on their own feet. Get off the government payroll. To me, unless you are completely think wrong, you shouldn't be. Welfare should only last. You should only be on welfare until you get up on your feet. You must be working, not just living off the welfare check. You must try to provide for yourself. Now, there's people that I know that can't provide for themselves and that they need to be on welfare. But I had a call where a mother was on welfare, and this 15-year-old boy. She was a frequent flyer. She didn't take care of her medicine. She had asthma bad, and we would see her anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week. She would call 911. And I saw her. She had a 15-year-old boy when I first met her. 3 years later, we got a call out there. I'm like, oh, it's her again. Okay. And we get there, and it's her son who called he had severe back pain. Okay. Well, he was working out with his weights, and he thought he hurt his back. Well, he pulled his deltoid muscle while working out, and he come to find out he was on welfare. And the reason why he was on welfare, I mean, this was a young, strong, he was strong. The reason why he was on welfare is because his father died of diabetes. So he had a family history of diabetes, and they had a good enough lawyer to get them on. He's on disability because, no, he was on disability. He wasn't on welfare. He was on disability because his father died of diabetes. Huh? People manipulate the system. And he was not black. He was Hispanic. But they had a good enough lawyer. He had no reason to be on disability. He was a young, healthy, strapping lad. Hell, he was in better shape than I was. And he was on disability because his father died of diabetes. That's what's wrong with America. At 21:56, got a lot of gold to go. And I've been on my soapbox, I'm sorry. Did not mean to turn this into political. But I've seen firsthand what this country's turning into, and that's what gets me upset. So, maybe y'all still watching this. Sorry. The views of opinion on this is my own, not YouTube's, and YouTube probably will probably ban this video. Because of what I've said. But I've seen too many lives. I've seen too many lives taken. I put too many people in body bags. It wasn't by police officers. It was by their own people. And I hate to say this. And it's not just the black community. It's the Hispanic. And they're creating their own genocide. But blaming the white people for it. I'm sorry. They're wrong. And they need to wake up. See that they are creating their own genocide. And quit blaming people for their own problems. Take care of those problems that they need to take care of. Deal with their problems in the community. Don't rely on the government. Well, rely on the government to help build your community back up. And I'm not just saying blacks, Hispanics. The government's there to help protect the citizens, but not to support the citizens. That isn't what this country was founded on. This country was founded to be help people grow as there's a lot of things that need to be fixed in this country. And I put too many young lives in body bags. I've actually put innocent bystanders in body bags because of what's going on in these communities over my 35 years, and I ended in 2017. Oh, actually, no, it's 2015. No, 2014 is when my career ended. And it wasn't because of police. It wasn't because of a specific race. It was because of their community. And the government needs to take care of that by providing better protection, by helping the police officers get more. Hell, I've been shot 3 times because they thought I was a police officer. When I worked in DC, I had to wear a bulletproof vest. Can't tell you how many. I've had a total of 7 guns pointed right at me, thinking I was a police officer, and I was a paramedic. I've been shot at least 7 times. Luckily missed 7 times. I've been shot 3 times. I've actually had a bullet go into my body. But they shot at me because they thought I was on an ambulance, and they thought because I was wearing a uniform I was a police officer. Hell, one time I was a firefighter and got shot at. And I was in turnout gear. You don't see that on the news. That's the other thing I hate. I don't even watch the news anymore. Because the news is so liberal. They're supposed to be biased, and they're not. The they take the liberal stance on everything. I stopped watching the news a long time ago. Hell, when I stopped watching it back in the 80s when I was working in D.C. And D.C. was the murder capital of the world, and not one of them died from a police officer. Hell, take a look at the murder rates in your major city. Take a look at the number of people that are killed. Not just the murder rates, but everybody that has been killed by car accidents, by accidents and stuff like that. Most of them are killed by being shot, and not being shot by police officers. By being shot by their own people in their own community. Because they were selling, or they just happened to be walking through the neighborhood because they were in a different gang, and that was their gang. Because territories and stuff like that. I've seen I've seen 5-year-old kids being killed because of drive-bys. That's what people should be mad about in this country. That's what Black lives should be taken care of. The innocent people that are being killed, not by police officers, but by their own kind. And it's not just black people that are doing it. It's Hispanics, it's Asian, it's everybody. It's not just the black community. It's every community that this is happening in. Wake up, America. Oh, guys, my head is expanding, and I'm just going to go ahead and do this off camera. I'm in a mood, and I don't want to be in this mood. So, I'd like to thank everybody for watching. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button and bell. That way you know when the latest videos I do come along and when I go live here on YouTube. Also, do me a favor, help support this channel by hitting that like button. Every like I get gets this channel seen a little bit more, which helps grow this channel. Also, do me a favor. Be safe out there in the world. Have fun playing your games, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.